It's popped every single round star. Katsuno should be dropping nukes on the entire field for the Dog Slayers. I'm gonna hope to see if how they're gonna maneuver around constantly being kind of on the energy deficit for this entire game.
Yeah, let's see what happens here, though. Really gonna keep my eyes on Storm for just a few minutes there, seeing if the internet works at all. But yeah, lots of damage coming out. The ball's gonna go onto the bottom side. Katsuna, yeah, like you said, man, Luna with extra special and Demon Days could result in some wild amount of kills, especially when X gets going too. I mean, X Luna on the same team could be quite scary, but no barriers taken just yet. An attack from Swisty onto Soren is still not going to grab that barrier. Looks like the internet's working nicely enough to get those strike wars going. A barrier taken here from Katsuna, and a second one from NXZD. Man, that's some determination getting that in there through 3 players, punching it in. X Maximus to reset it, and that's going to be your first point here, NXZD, and this could be, you know, foreshadowing for the rest of the set.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a foreshadowing of a lot of ults about to be clicked on kickoff here. We got the extra special. There's the Luna nuke. Weston having half his health bars immediately taken off the map. But it's actually Soren to start losing barriers. Level 2 now being hit for the side of the Dog Slayers. Probably a lot of ultimates. Probably a good flip to secure the double barrier for the side of Dogs. And it's NXZD to actually go down to the Vice secondary. Caught out. And now Soren's left defending against the Centauro and Vice with flip. And it just goes in on the top side. And now Dog Slayers are also level 2, and they've also got some very deadly extra special characters that the EKC are going to have to defend against.
Agreed. Twisty did decide to take Explosive Entrance, which is completely understandable on Zentaro. Will still have extra damage here and there, but not going to be so explosive with their extra special. Nikki almost taking a barrier of their own. Weston wiping the sweat from their brow. Few going to keep that one, although Nikki is now quite low. Katsuna might be able to find something here. X Maximus is activated, but Atlas ult is going to keep at least the blue team alive here. Everyone going to heal up at least above half, setting up the Maelstrom on the bottom. Is not going to work out too well. Dealing damage to Katsuna is Twisty. Ball's going to roll onto the bottom side. Katsuna now really weak. Twisty misses the passive. It's going to at least let Katsuna survive for a little bit longer as the barriers are just about to go down. Dog Slayer's open goal sends the Maelstrom, blocks it over with the ball. Twisty, nice primary to get that final barrier. And now it's just NXTD versus Nikki, who gets a nice evade. Almost enough. And now a big power play.
Now, it's such a awful, or not awful as in bad game, but a bloodbath happening. So many health bars are going down. People are getting staggered left and right. And once again, we're looking at NXTD so low. And it's actually Twisty now who's about to be dropped down. That's the NXTD looking for the power play, but nothing is quite found. Twisty moving up with the passive and flip. It's super scary for Soren here. And a lot of health bars going down, as I've said. And nothing really terrible is able to be found on either side's open net.
Yeah, not yet, man. Twisty holding on for dear life, wants to spend this flip to get the kill, and unfortunately, the pressure builds up from EKC, and they actually score onto Weston there. Katsuna getting the credit for that. Level 3, actually everyone on the board, level 3 right now, even with the kills that have been exchanged. Twisty does survive, though. The ball actually was scored in a timely fashion. Twisty lives and gets to use this flip for this point, which is then spent to smack Katsuna in the face just a little bit. Although, speaking of smacking into the face, we do see Nikki dealing a ton of damage onto the board, but a lot of orbs being picked up, and everyone is looking actually a little bit decent here. Oh my gosh, NXTD obviously setting up the flip there, but gets smacked by the Maelstrom, but man, Weston could not grab it in time, and NXTD getting credit for that one. And X first pick, Demon Days extra special. That seems scary.
Oh, and X has gotten his beautiful pickup in bulk up. Best awakening of the game on the best character.
Situational,
this guy
right?
is yeah, my bad. Situational pickup for X. It's gonna be okay. A little bit of HP, a little bit of damage. I don't think it's gonna go too far. And then also a Deadeye pickup from Luna. And we've got 2 very top tier builds coming out from Soren, or not Soren, from NXTD and Katsuna right now. And if I'm the Dog Slayers, I'm quaking in my boots right now. These Deadeye and bulk up pickups for NXTD and Katsuna, that's like the top 1 awakenings on both of their characters.
Yeah, this is some outstanding damage showing up here for EKC. Really great awakening draft for the winners there. Even Soren getting some extra health to just try to stay alive and defend this barrier, which will probably end up working out. Reptile Remedy is crazy good at keeping you alive. 1 barrier down for each side here, though. Fighting on to the bottom. Twisty gets kind of smacked out of the way there, though. Can't get the final barrier, although the Maelstrom might make it happen. But really great patience from the entire team of EKC. But Twisty with an awesome redirect from the A Rush is going to at least grab that final barrier. Trying to push it in onto the final goal here. Twisty no cooldowns just yet. just holding possession until they can finally get those cooldowns back, or at least deal some more damage. Now Weston has a chance to grab the ball, give it over to Twisty, who does jump through. No passive, actually works up to get the passive, forcing Soren to flip, which is actually, I mean, I ain't better use of Zentaro's passive than using a resource like that for the enemy goalie.
Yeah, I was going to say, Zoran's doing actually such a great job at defending these open barriers. Dogslayers is just having such a hard time getting it in properly, unless they're spending flips, and there's not enough abilities for Soren to keep up with the onslaught of so many Vice abilities being dropped, so many hitboxes from Zentaro. And even though the Dogslayers are having a pretty easy time getting the barriers down, I believe they've gotten both, taking the doubles twice first, or most of the time this series. But Soren is doing, it happens again, a pretty great job at defending the open barrier, and I would like to see a little bit more of coordinated play, just kind of keeping the ball in scary positions that Soren can't get it out.
That was really great work there. I love the behind-the-back passing plays there. And Twisty works up 150 stacks of those stacks, which is going to put a big target on their head if you can get a kill. Although having an extra speed is certainly going to help you avoid a couple more moves, especially Zentaro having a couple of extra evades and some movement. It's going to be really great work there. Katsuna holding on for dear life here with no health. Twisty trying to find a kill. Katsuna flies out of the way, and they actually get a goal onto EKC there. Wonderful work here from Dogslayers. They could be bringing back this momentum, even though, and like we were saying, I'd say EKC certainly won the Awakening draft last time.
Yeah, but despite that, they are down 0-2 in this set. Volkop is looking a little too situational for this game. Maybe not the right situation to pick it, but NXT still falling so low. And it's now Nikki and Twisty moving up the field. The Vice Flip is ready to be ripped, and that's the first barrier. Actually, not quite going down. A beautiful strike from Soren manages to get it out, but layered strikes from Twisty and Nikki means that both the double barriers go down. It's now Soren, but once again, on the back foot, forced to defend this open net as an Atlas.
Yeah, tough situation there. Twisty's got a lot of extra speed, got a lot of cooldowns, but it's going to bounce off the backside. Not too favorable. Weston keeps it alive here, too, with that strike shot. Twisty gets it right through NXTD with a slice and dice. Now they're putting a lot of pressure here onto Soren. Sets up the blast. Supernova right on through. Perfect angle. Kind of like rides to the edge of the wall there. And that's going to be Dogslayers evening up this set. I mean, that's an incredible win for the draft that we saw, and let's see what they can get.
Guys, is Extra Special Bulk Up X weak? I don't know. We pick it up and we go 0-3 immediately. Not quite something you want to see from the side of EKC with such a strong first rep, but Hotshot Atlas is not to scoff at either. But I want to say something to keep in mind here is actually the prize fighter on Nikki. Nikki already picked up a peak performance, meaning that it should be a lot safer to hold on to these prize fighter stacks. And if we can just get a couple of kills going, I wouldn't be surprised if Dogslayers start finding way more kills than what the Atlas can actually keep up with the extra special reses.
True. I mean, do he have Weston here picking up Glass Cannon, which is nice. I don't really see them getting hit too hard too often, so they might get a lot of value out of that one, as Twisty and Nikki are certainly the kill targets here. They quickly make quick work of those first two barriers. Dogslayers now looking pretty good. One here from NXTD. Twisty does have a cooldown. Actually, they get a power play, which is reversed instantly from NXTD's X Maximus there. Now a little 2v2 situation. Nikki's going to still try to score there and actually does successfully get Soren. Oh wow, get the better side of Soren there with that angle and the Thunderstrike. Oh, all these moves. Thunderstruck, Supernova. Dogslayers are ahead.
Yeah, it was honestly such a great secondary positioning coming out from Nikki there. Right, getting the core stopped right outside of Soren's Atlas expanse range meant that she was able to actually wait out the secondary and get a beautiful shot onto the bottom side that she wouldn't be able to find otherwise. And now going into this point, another Atlas expanse goes down and a ton of damage coming out from Nikki, getting a huge chunk off on NXTD. And more importantly, Atlas ult has gone down. There's no reses left, no more healing for the side of EKC, and if the cooldowns can come off rotation just a bit longer for Dogslayers, I wouldn't be shocked if Katsa just kind of goes down soon at this point.
And White with a really great angle there is going to land the last barrier. Twisty blasts it on through there with the rush one more time. Almost scores. Katsuna, great interception there. Dealing a little damage to Nikki. Not much more than that. Twisty going to come back and help to get the ball right through NXTD. The strike shot is going to be great to clear that ball as well and allow the team to get better positioning. Nikki on the front side here, right in the center. Really putting a lot of pressure onto Soren if Weston could just get the chance to move up. Although, we do have a flip resource spent from NXDD to grab a power play here. Last barrier also goes down. The Maelstrom's going to try to hold the line onto the top side. A great strike from Nicky's going to waste a whole lot of time and actually threaten to score the goal. In fact, Nicky's going to threaten to score the goal right now. Super fast shot onto Mr. 200 ping, which is completely fair. We're not trying to send it to NXDD, who's probably on land.
Yeah, Nicky might have been listening on the stream here and knew exactly who to shoot that core at, knowing that there's a good chance that Soren just might not be able to click in time for that. And Twisty, again, sending it straight into Soren, getting the first barrier, and great dash from Katsuna actually means that the double barrier, for the first time, I think this set, goes to EKC first. But it doesn't matter. Dogslayers just fight back, immediately taking double of their own, and at once, immediately, with a good eye rush from Twisty, taking the entire set. And that's 2 3-0s in a row. I'm just saying again, Bulk Up is just looking so situational. You pick it once and everything just starts going wrong for EKC.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Bulk Up was just the wrong pick, you know, now that I'm seeing it. Honestly, a pretty wild pick there from NXDD, but here we go. Twisty grabbing specialized training to become even more powerful than ever before. It's going to synergize perfectly there with the 1-2 punch. Heavy impact, understandable for NXDD, less situational, of course. Missile prop, really strong for Vice. That's an interesting pick there. Inner focus. I wish I could see and touch the value of inner focus, but Stinger onto Luna is also going to be quite threatening. And a good player like Soren is going to make great use of our quick strike here. I'm not really sure who won this draft. I see some good picks on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and actually say Dog Slayers, just grabbing so much more damage.
Yeah, I think, honestly, what's super important to look at here is actually inner focus on Era. Era's already sitting on a prime time. Oh, there goes Twisty. Once again, actually finding a lot of kills throughout this game already. This dash punch is just getting so much value. And even though there's not that much damage on X's dash punch right now, just a little bit of damage in the bulk up might have been what he needs to secure all these kills. And on top of that, the first point of the set.
True, and Twisty is once again going to certainly have that little target on their head. Trying to reset the stacks on stacks constantly is going to make this game way more feasible for EKC on every front. So much damage being dealt. NXDD spending the X Maximus just to punch Twisty in the face a little bit. Just still kind of scary. No barriers down just yet. Great passing plays to get around this humongous X here, though. Sets up the Maelstrom on the top side to block any situation on up there. Triple goalie is going to make getting this barrier nearly impossible. Passing it on over to Weston, who's going to keep it behind the back. Actually love that one as well. Really loving the goalies are moving up in the right position there. Twisty wins a strike board situation against Soren as well. Trying to pass play here. Not going to go for the goal just yet. Nicky once again with the flip. I feel like Nicky's got flip just a little bit too often there and might be able to find a kill or a goal with it in just a second here as they're going to pass it right down to Twisty. We are passing the ball. We are putting pressure onto Soren. They're running out of resources really quickly, really closely. The Supernova goes down. NXDD flies off the map, and the power play is going to score a goal here for Dog Slayers. And I mean, man, that was beautiful pressure for just the entire point. They are, honestly, they're in tune.
Yeah, they kept it in the top side corner for what felt like, honestly, a full minute, slowly getting so many resources out until they're able to collapse in the bot side, find a kill, and just secure that point at the end. And it's now Katsuna taking a ton of damage. The Alice expands, pops for the heal, but it's just not quite enough. And Twisty actually catches the Luna dash with a secondary of her own, meaning that the first barrier is actually not quite going down yet, but Twisty, a great strike versus the actually quick strikes Alice. Extremely hard win to find. And it's looking for the double. It's just from last point. We're still trapped in the top corner. And pressure from Dogslayer is just looking so impressive right now.
Yeah, I want to just do a minor shout out to Vaughn here, mentioning that Nicky Millen might be gliding this entire time. And I would feel like that's a really good, okay, I think kind of a little own goal there from NXDD, punching it around additional strikes there from Twisty and Weston too. But yeah, really gliding is a really great adjective, or perhaps a verb here, for what Nicky Millen is doing right now. Holding the line, not overcommitting, and really just keeping it in that top corner, which we're saying, like, damn, that is building up a lot of pressure. It's really Nicky just staying exactly where they need to with his positioning.
Yeah, I want to point out someone that is actually making this gliding possible is actually the Era pick from Weston. Vice is not a character that's particularly mobile outside of an occasional TP, and having this inner focus and secondary off cooldown so often means that Nicky's actually able to cover a lot more space than you would think, but it doesn't matter. NXT finding the kill anyways. That's prize fighter down, and with Twisty and Weston looking so low at this point, if Soren can make sure that Twisty doesn't find a random barrier, this is looking at this point, it's about to be over. And a beautiful passing play from NXT and Katsula crosses up Era, who had no abilities left and we're now sitting on 2-2. The first 2 points that EKC has scored in the past couple sets, and they're looking to keep fighting and make sure they can get just 4 more.
Oh, boy, yeah. They're going to have to keep fighting. They're going to have to fight hard as this power play is already taken hold. Less than 10 seconds in. I mean, Dog Slayers is looking at the end of this entire game. If they could just hold the line here, great strikes from Twisty is going to spend just enough time for Nikki to find their way on back. And winning another interaction is going to actually make a power play and the barrier take from Dog Slayers. Can they end the game? Right here, Weston moving up as far as they can. The hands of Nikki back down to Weston using the bewitching beam. Soren still holds the line. The Maelstrom might get a kill, doesn't. NXED helps to block as well, but there it is. Weston gets it in there with another bewitching beam. And like you mentioned, hey, that inner focus making a lot of extra cooldown for that prime time might be just what the doctor ordered for the game. Dog Slayers take it over EKC on the first one.
Yeah, I want to say that entire game was a beautiful kind of show of the offense that Dog Slayers has. It did such a good job at keeping the core contained in the corner, and then once the enemy team is forced to commit to a side, doing a great job at just kind of, as an entire team, rotating over, popping the air secondary, maybe TPing away from Vice, or using, honestly, Centaro's entire kit to cross up, get to the other side, and when you're on a slow melee goalie like Alex, you just can't cover that much space. It's more used to just locking it down in one spot. It was a great kind of show in draft where Dogs just looked comfortable playing into this melee goalie.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I think Twisty not taking extra special at the start was like exactly like the movement that you get from from special explosive entrance for Zentaro allowed Twisty to just like get everywhere they needed to go, dodge a couple of abilities, put so much pressure onto Soren, and not die. Really, just like I feel like Twisty could have died like every second, literally every second. I mean, why wouldn't they want to kill Twisty? Stacks on stacks and Zentaro's health pool, but like did such a good job of staying in the mix, keeping themselves alive, and yeah, Weston just being fast as heck with everything that Era has in her kit, especially with the extra cooldown prime time. I mean, man, they did so good there.
And I also like Glass Cannon, I think is actually super high value in this game. X, when you're kind of playing far back from Era, you're looking for just these primaries, it's really hard to just proc that Glass Cannon and get that out of the way. And Luna, outside of Nuke just being kind of the easiest thing to hit in the world, if you're paying attention to Luna, finding a hit with her rocket can actually be pretty difficult when enemies on their toes and they're already pretty fast. So I wouldn't be shocked if Weston had Glass Cannon up for basically the entire game outside of when NXT was able to kind of just get in their face, click primary, click ult, and secured the couple of goals that EKC were able to secure.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I mean, especially with the pressure that Twisty and Nikki are putting on the barriers, it's not really like they could be like, oh, let's just go spend a cooldown to go get West and knock his thing off. But it's like the barriers are going down. Soren, it needs some help. Katsuna can't find the kills. NXTD did certainly find a good amount of kills, but not enough to stop the Dog Slayers, as we're going to move on to the next game, which will probably be Clarion Corporation. I love that map.
Yeah, I believe when it first showed on stream, it was Clarion first, but I think there was a little bit of a mix-up on the drafter graphic. Yeah, going to Clarion now, a map that, just like Demon Dies, is also extremely damage favored, but after what Dogs has showed going into this game, they're looking pretty comfortable playing damage themselves, locking in the Vice, Zentaro, two kind of faces of damage comps here. Just they can do so much, hit so hard, and more importantly, Zentaro just finding the kill confirms. And when Soren looked like he was angling towards Atlas, a character that, even though he has the ultimate for his reses and the healing, is not a character who really keeps up in the damage war. Hell, even Era, a character that I constantly bombard for not helping towards damage at all, had 7k damage over him that game. So I wouldn't be surprised if Dogs actually look super comfortable on the Clarion Corp as well.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Yeah, it's really funny to think about Era dealing damage. I mean, it's like she doesn't really do damage until the Maelstrom runs somebody over for their entire health bar, and then you're like, oh, okay, Era's helping out here. That's pretty cool. So not really, secondary certainly ain't doing damage, but it might be helping your team do damage in some other situations. But yeah, I do love Clarion Corp. It definitely has a lot of these side lanes, which really give a lot more power to something like Dash Punch that you'll see from X, or really just Juliet as a character. Vice also just like so good at being like, yo, you can't go on that thing. I'm about to block the supernova. Even the Thunderstruck will kill you if you're in the side lane. So a lot of strong picks that we might be seeing once again. And I'm really interested in what we see from the bans, because normally I would have thought that Luna would be the true demon in that last game. Like
Yeah,
Luna,
on extra special start as well.
yeah, extra start. But I mean, Dog Slayers didn't really have a whole lot of trouble with that. Like I didn't really see Luna just getting kills, getting her own kind of version of the dash punch, or I didn't really see much people getting just blasted from the Crater Maker. So they might not even want to ban Luna.
Yeah, we'll see here. But I would also hope to see NXD on a character who actually look for dash punches a little bit more. He was finding a ton of kills with X secondary into ultimate, but that's a pretty high investment kill. Even though we had extra special to make sure the cooldowns went low, if he can pick up one of his other signature picks, Juliet or Imi, I'm expecting to see even more kills coming up from him, just having a higher rotation up. More dash punches, not needing to force to spend ult to secure it. And he'll be able to play for his favorite game plan, which is just bait someone towards the side, click his buttons 1, 2, and take him off the map.
Yeah, and you can already tell that Weston's probably going to try to support such a situation when the Maelstrom orb comes up, and we'll be seeing NXCD 20x times. Oh, I forget what the actual number is. Is it 125 or is it 115? Whichever it is, that is a lot of size, and you gain like 70 damage or something like that to go with it. But we are starting up in just a second here. You guys can see what we can see, which is us. Hey, how's it going, guys?
Yeah. See, look at it. Look at it. It says EKC picked Clarion first there, and we went to Demon Dies anyways. So I have no idea which
sometimes.
I can't tell which side was actually picking what. Oh, that's just how it works.
Go red first
Okay.
because blue picks things first. I think that's how.
Yeah.
Let's edit new stuff. We're trying some new stuff. We love new stuff, love fun new stuff here. So certainly going to Clarion Corporation next, guys. Chat, how you feeling today about season 7 of NASL week 3? I mean, things are so crazy. Look at all of our rookies; they're going insane.
They are dogs. They may be 0-2 right now, but they're hungry. They're hungry, looking for their first win. And after seeing that last game, I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to secure this game too. Honestly, playing damage into the side of EKC as well. I mean, hey, maybe dogs eat cats. You know?
it's that's a good thought there because I mean, like you said, Clarion Corp being damage oriented as well. I mean, we just saw it. We just saw the most damaged team with the most damage map. The Dog Slayers kind of crushed it, and we're about to see the same thing. So, I mean, is there a chance that EKC is like, let's play ball, let's go, Estelle Rasmus, we're gonna play Dubu. Soren doesn't play Dubu much, does he?
I'd be really sad if Soren locked in a Dubu.
That'd be
My
something.
goat washed. My goat washed.
Yeah, it could be a rough pick. They do love damage. I mean, damage has been pretty damn good since like the inception of the game, right? It's just move people out of the way. If you want to get the ball past somebody, there ain't anything better than just moving them out of the way by blasting their freaking face off.
Mm-hmm. Just kind of just force them to walk away. But when you're on these closed maps, even when you're low, it can be so hard to just be anywhere helpful because the lanes that you have to play on Clarion and Demon Dies as well, when you're staggered or kind of just close to a kill, you kind of can't do anything. You can maybe spend an ability to help out from a little bit further range, but when you have to get in there and strike, it is extremely hard, especially against characters like as you said, everyone we saw last game, X, Luna, Centauro, Vice. Just stay in there and be active.
Yeah,
So I'm
and it's like,
expecting to see that kind of the same happen. There's a couple of open maps on Clarion. Shoutouts, Bounce House, everyone's favorite.
oof, God,
But mostly we're just going into a bunch of lane maps. So we'll probably be
yeah.
seeing similar comps happen again.
Pretty much every map I think of the Clarion Corp is very deadly when you are shattered. Like you get knocked against the bounce house, you're like right next to the edges on the Maelstrom orb. I mean, you're slowed by the goo, you are in the side lane from Xeno, and you can't touch the Atlas orb, but you explode too. I mean, when you're shattered on any one of these setups, you are in deep trouble. So yeah, going back to what you said, damage
Yeesh.
focused map. That's what we'll be seeing. And finally, we got some visualization, some visual aids, Rampage and Deadeye. Thoughts about Luna might actually get banned this time.
Yeah, we're seeing honestly a higher damage start than extra special. And I want us to say one character that we should be looking at here is Imi. Nikki, I would not be surprised if she opts to pick up the Imi immediately here, take away from EKC. Or there's two players that you don't want to see in Imi. Soren a pick that he's had kind of as one of his most common picks throughout every single season. And I want to say NXGD. That guy is the best AB brawler, and it always does such a good job at being like, wow, how did that kill me? Every time he hits me with it in solo queue, and when you're on a Deadeye start, and Rampage is the other awakening, something that you have to stack up and is so kind of volatile into damage, you don't really want to be picking a brawler here, do you? It might be time to let the double midfielder rip and actually get his IME pick.
Honestly, I could definitely see. I really would like to see the IME brawler. I mean, that is a fun, a fun play style to watch when you have like kind of double midfield, but like one of them's going in. Like Luna's so good at being like I'm kind of midfield, but actually I'm brawling extremely hard right now as I fly into the opponent's team. These awakenings feel like they kind of inverse each other, right? Where it's like you want to pick Rampage because it's so much value. You can hit so big, double barrier. Of course, you're gonna have so much range. But I mean, Deadeye is so good at killing somebody so large. So you kind of have a target on your back there with that Deadeye. And Dubu is banned. I mean, you know Soren wanted Dubu, so my bad, dude. That stinks.
Damn. Soren accidentally wanting to first pick Dubu ends up banning it. A tragedy.
Yeah.
But of course, Luna is banned from the side of dogs. We saw it last game with the extra special, but now on a Deadeye start, we're not having any of that. Dogs just immediately banning out the Luna and going into an Estelle first pick. Kind of doesn't really say anything about draft yet. Estelle can kind of do whatever she wants. We can pick to anyone in the back. She can either help on damage, she can play for core control. Really a really very safe first pick. And then the side of EKC going for the Juno Juliet. Juno is a character that Katsuna has always looked extremely good on. The off ball that he gets to play with Juno and just kind of create so much map presence has always been super threatening and always really helpful for NXD and Soren finding their kills with Juno kind of holding down the fort everywhere else. And then NXD, of course, on his signature, Juliet. There's the dash punches that we've been talking about for just a little while now.
Then there's Kazan. Another interesting pick. I feel like I haven't seen Kazan a whole lot in the North American Strikers League, but maybe I wasn't watching too closely. But there it is. We're looking at big old Rampage Kazan. It's on you to survive here. Twisty, most likely here on that Kazan, as the final pick there is going to be Finny. All the damage you could ever want in the world there on one character for EKC. And these are your picks here, though. I do like the Estelle pick. I mean, I will never say Estelle is a bad pick. For the most part, I really love that she brings like outrageous amounts of like range utility. She like puts the goalie in situations where they're like, Estelle is kind of standing midfield. I simply cannot, like, you can't clear in front of the goal any longer because she has all that range. So kind of forces the goalie to kind of clear down into the corner and try to control the board that way. So we'll see what kind of situation that they can force out of perhaps this Finny, perhaps this Soren.
Yeah, one thing to look at here though is it could either be Estelle or Amy in the goalie position right now for the side of Dog Slayers.
That's true.
I would not be surprised for either side, but no matter what, the damage backline for Dog Slayers is so scary right now. We're gonna have the Deadeye Estelle, Deadeye Amy, are just pumping out damage constantly. And when Twisty is on the Kazan, probably unarguably the best character at kill confirming in the game with such strong primaries, both the hook and the umbrella, which you cannot evade out of because this character is broken. When you're staggered against this team, you're probably not going to get to do very much. You got to be so far away, or Twisty might just end up hunting them down and to immediately take them off the map. And there's going to be a lot of stress on, I want to say, NXED for staying alive this game. It's not just staying alive. You can't get staggered. If you get staggered against this team, you're probably not going to be on the map for more than, I don't know, 15 seconds before you're taken off by either Estelle with any of her kit or Kazan with any of his kit. So I think the draft is actually favored towards dogs just a little bit right now.
Yeah, I could pretty much agree with everything that was said so far. Estelle, indeed, also quite good at helping finish off kills, in addition to Clarion Corp, just also good at finishing off kills by itself. We're looking at Juno Deadeye, though. That definitely is a more low-key pick when it comes to surprising amounts of damage that you didn't know that you were taking. And in addition to having Finny on the backside just kind of pelting you with Deadeye misdirections there. So there are situations we might see Finny get just so strong. She deals half your health in one shot, and that could be enough for like a dash punch kill for NXED. So it feels like the team of EKC sort of relies on like, hey, has Finny landed her damage? If so, let's go get him. And if not, we're playing ball. while the other side feels like Dog Slayers probably is going to be like, I'm now going to deal damage whenever I want with this Amy slashes and Estelle helping on the backside while Kazan just steps on the opponent, being a rampage rampage master. But we shall see as Clarion Corp shall commence.
And going into this here, of course, both the brawlers picking up their rampage. Twisty opting for the Mag Souls over Slicks, so it could be that NXT is looking to make more aggressive plays, and it's actually Weston who ends up on the Estelle here, opting for the strike shot. And honestly, I'm a fan. Estelle goalie is not something super popular at the moment, but I think it's a pick that actually is super easy to not only pick, but then perform on. So I'm happy to see it here, and we're going to see how Weston does going into this game.
Yeah, I totally agree with that too. I mean, Estelle just has so much range that even her being a goalie feels like she's in the midfield sometimes when you're the opposing goalie trying to block every now and again, right? Estelle's just got enough range, especially with that strike shot, to help out. And it's going to be Twisty on the front line here, taking a lot of damage here from Katsuna. Nikki looking to get a cooldown. The big finish isn't going to result in too much more. We got the sentry coming up. Nikki the first to get level 2, and we got the shot on in there from Twisty. They do scoop the ball right next to the goal there to grab Dog Slayers, their first point, and this could be the team. I mean, already Twisty got the 2 stacks of Rampage. Everything is perfect for Dog Slayers.
Yeah, and NXTD not being able to find any barriers at that point. And when you're playing into a damage team, you have to kind of take every little lead that they give you and push as far as possible. So when Twisty's already going into this set with 2 Rampage stacks over NXTD, I'm the side of EKC. I'm trying to find a kill on Twisty and take it out as fast as possible. But a double barrier from Nikki Millen, it looks so good here. He's able to find the double, but not quite the goal. And NXTD is actually forced to spend the flip, not able to keep it themselves alive long enough. She looks for the shot on the open net, but isn't able to find anything. Soren with a beautiful strike out. And oh my god, a bounce house. Beautiful play going off the wall, and Weston just immediately rocketing the court forward with the Deadeye, and Soren was just not fast enough on the react with the Finny secondary and just slots in on the top side. And I kind of feel like, even though that Dog Slayers were very much in the lead at that point, that was kind of a robbery.
We will see robberies, certainly, on Bouncy House. That stage does not care about you or your family for the most part. We do jump onto the goo land. Twisty, gets it in there with that pop-up nicely. Once again, 4 stacks of Rampage. We are going to see large Kazan. Katsuna completely shattered now. Soren has a flip. We're going to see everyone back up, try to deal some damage to Katsuna. It is now Kazan's job to maybe get that kill, although Katsuna's being very evasive. In fact, they turn it onto Kazan, onto Twisty there, but then they get another kill. Boom, 2v2. Soren saves it with a flip of their own. NXTD is a little weak, dodges Nikki Middleton cyber swipe. Soren tries to get a little cheeky misdirection there, but it's not going to work out. Ball back on over to Twisty. Weston gets their hands on it now, trying to knock it right back up. Not a lot of damage being sent onto the board just yet, and we'll see what happens as the point keeps going.
Just not able to find anything off that hook there. It is actually Nikki to fall to the dash punch of NXTD, and NX now with looking to just hunt down Twisty, spending so many abilities to look for the stagger. Got to finding the second barrier in the process. Also stagger on the field, but Twisty looking so scary on this open net, but is not quite able to find anything. And NXTD gets the clear down from the pass from Soren, but Katsa is still staggered just a little bit longer, and Twisty might be able to find the kill as Kazan, but it's actually her to be staggered, and this point can kind of go either way with so many people low.
Big kill. Big top spin there for Twisty. Also completely shattered. Could be dash punched here from NXTD. Weston's going to move up and try to help here with the piercing shot. Nice evade from Soren to keep that point alive. Kazan hitting it backwards and dying in return. No cyber swipe to help it on through here for Nikki. They had another chance, but not going to work out. Katsuna's really low. So Weston to help defend here. We're going to get a double goalie situation to try to keep this one going here while Twisty comes back. A flip spent. Not a great angle. No evade left there. NXTD takes perfect advantage of that one, and now NXTD on the front lines with no dash punch. Can they get this point in this power play?
Yeah, actually kind of very okay. Well, I was gonna say great little mix on the defense there from Twisty, but loses the ego strike war at the end. Meaning that the point goes down to Cats, and honestly, that was exactly what I was expecting to see this game on that point. Of course, it was the Goo variant, which is kind of the biggest damage one because there's a giant pool that constantly hurts if you're standing. And on top of that, you get glued if you're staggered when you try to stand on top of it, which is even less space to work with. But going on to this map, it's actually Nikki to find the kind of the size plus power orb and getting a full cooldown reset. And XD is forced to spend the flip to get away. Twisty managing to miss the kill. Good wiggles from NX coming out. But the point is just still looking so scary for the side of EKC. Twisty on the field and Nikki, more importantly, holding on to this flip, trying to find a good opportunity to either find the kill or to secure this barrier.
NXCD just been smacked around since this started. I mean, Nikki and Twisty have surrounded NXCD from the start here, but they do finally get at least a half health unshattered now, as the point is going to continue. The Maelstrom Orb taken from Nikki Minilin here. See if they can do something with a huge cyber swipe, and the sentry's going in. Still can't grab that final barrier from Soren, as Katsuna is going to help work on that first one. Gets it as well. The stacks of Rampage have been completely reset there for Twisty. Only one left. Big finish coming out. Not much more than possession here, as overtime is going to roll on through. Twisty coming in there with the pop-up. It's not going to grab it yet either. Katsuna has a couple cooldowns to hit it down. Yeah, that's what's going to happen with overtime. Juno, big red ball there from that strike with Friends. Is going to be such a deadly passive as NSCD on the front side. But, oh, sometimes overtime really just gets the ball where it needs to go, and that's out of NXDZ's range.
But Nikki, once again, on her third orb munch to this point, is able to get the size and get so many turrets out. So many scary strike wars that Katsuna and Soren have to take. NXT looks for the dash, but not able to find anything. Juno covering so much space. The Blobos completely denying the flip. But Twisty goes for the hook, finds the crooked leverage, and sends it towards the top side. Finny just not having the defensive tool set to kind of defend against this Kazan to open net for long. And that's the first set of this second game going to the side of Dog Slayers.
Well played there from Twisty to just quickly react with hook, with strike, and a perfect angle is going to get it through the entire team. Let's see what we can pick up here. Twin Drive. Such a good pick there for Estelle, especially on goalie. It's just so nice to have that when you're moving up. Berserker is pretty interesting here for Katsuna, although everyone is mostly taking a lot of damage, so I'd like to see some value out of that one. More size for Kazan. You can't write this stuff. You can't make it up. Soren getting as much damage as possible with Missile Prob there. Heavy impact from NXCD is fair. It's good for Juliet for basically every dash punch situation, so quite good. And Nikki with Time as Creator, I mean, also quite good for Amy. I'd say everyone in the draft got something that they want, except for I hope Katsuna can find value out of this, because they're going to need it.
We picked Berserker. That Awakening. Okay, into this game, it's probably going to see some value because people are dying a lot. And when you're on the Goo variant, there's a lot of ways to just kind of hit yourself on Clarion. But let's be clear. This Awakening is pretty bad. For the most of the game, I'm not expecting to see Berserker to get any value, but hey, if we see a point where Berserker manages to, oh my god, guys, that's Berserker value there, that got us the point, I will try my best to notice it. But that Awakening's kind of invisible for now.
That's fair. I was basically trying to not kill it too hard, but, you know, if top players are telling me it's garbage turd, well, I believe you. As Katsuna is, look, staggered, look at all the damage. Berserker's activated. I don't even know how much stats they're getting, but it's probably something. Although both barriers completely down for Soren, they do get there and grab one of their own. NXDD playing a little bit of midfield there, gonna kick backwards and slay this Kazan. Twisty, no stacks of Rampage left here. Big finish coming out, gonna make things awkward for Weston, taking the final barrier. NXDD and Katsuna have a small 2v2 situation on the top here, though, as Triple Take is gonna keep the ball. Oh my god, these blobs are getting insane amounts of value. Although Katsuna is completely powered up with this Berserker, it's insane. I'm watching the speed. It's pretty average.
There's no speed on it. 0%.
It's not speed?
Nope. It is power and CDR.
Why does it say 0%?
Oh! But an instant flip from an XD actually secures that point. I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what was going on. But Berserker, low-key, don't tell anyone, looked kind of good there. Katsuna spent that entire point staggered, and I'm not going to lie, we were getting a lot of primary shots hit. And NXD just securing the point with a beautiful instant flip on the Julie secondary, and I'm sure he felt very happy landing that in a live NASL match.
Live NASL match it is, and the Maelstrom into the dash punch is going to vaporize anybody it touches, including Twisty, Kazan. Not a lot of health there. Oh my god, the misdirection dealing actually 70% of Nikki's health there, and that's what I had expected to see from some of these Awakenings. It's all in the hands of this Finny if they want to get some extra kills. NXCD taking a whole lot of extra damage, trying to reverse it with the dash punch. Now they have nothing left except for a few evades, but they are going to beat the crap out of this orb, which I think heals you as well when you destroy it. but it is totally free for Nikki to get. Now they've become super powerful. They're killing Katsuna from outstanding ranges there. And now making a power play here for Dog Slayers. Little Twisty can't participate too heavily in this play. They're going to try to get in there. NXCD also completely shattered. There's outrageous amounts of damage being sent out in this game. Weston's turn to move up and make something happen. Maybe try to add on to the damage, get a kill for them. But it's not going to work out here, though. Still holding both of those barriers is Weston, as the damage is just being sent on basically EKC's side. And there goes NXZD on out of there. Big power play here. Let's see if we can get some teammates here for Dog Slayers moving on up, playing a bunch of defense there. Twisty waiting for some cooldowns. Big finish coming out. And nothing yet.
Yeah, I will say this point is looking pretty treacherous for both brawlers on the field. They are constantly being pummeled by every ability from both sides backline. And it's just kind of pretty miserable for both Twisty and XEC stay up in this game. But Katsuda looking for the overtime. Deadeye, Juno value, looking for the core speed, trying to get something up the field. I think he's kind of looking for some passing play, trying to get Twisty. But Soren has just been doing such a great job at this point, keeping this barrier or keeping this point intact. But a great find from Nikki, gets the flip and actually secures a kill on Soren. The CCL line, unfortunately, Soren was found standing on it. And that was a bit of a League of Legends point, as some people might say.
Yeah, that was, man, just team fighting and murder left and right. Just to make quick traverse to that first barrier. Bouncy House is going to make things super hard for some of these slower walking goalies. The forwards are going to push in onto the top side there. Once again, big finish comes out. Just does some damage, actually, to Twisty, and that was just enough to finish them off. Gets the blob on up. Katsuna perfectly taking both of those barriers. Soren blocking the last one. Power play coming out here. We can get a dash punch. Yes, sir. NXCD, even with the evade onto Weston. I mean, she is still dash punch striking the ball. It is not an easy situation to win.
Yeah, great patience on NXCD there. Holding onto the dash punch that entire point until the very last moment where it was completely unsavable. Let's be for real. But the first early barrier going down for the side of Dog Slayers, and this point's looking pretty good. Vinny was just barely able to hold on. Good layers from NXT actually getting involved, but the Vinny ultimate actually pulls the core back up. You know, Twisty is able to find the last strike that she needs to secure the double barrier, but to secure a kill is what NXT was looking for, and that's a dash punch taking Twisty off the map, and that's no more rampage stacks for the rest of this point. Not as influential as a kill found in a bit of an earlier set. This is the 5th point of the set. This is the kind of it for both teams. But a passing play from the going towards the downside. Twisty's not quite able to find a crooked leverage, and it means that this point is just not quite found yet for the Dog Slayers.
Not just yet. Oh, a flip war there. Weston wins out. Katsuna can't get there in time. Man, Nikki is looking so weak. They do everything to get the kill, spending a dash and flip, and Soren helps finish him off there. See if they can get this final barrier with this power play. I mean, we are seeing a lot of cooldowns being spent, but a lack of barriers going down for EKC. I mean, they're getting the kills, they're getting the damage, but finally, in overtime, do they just lose the last one there. Dog Slayers is still kind of core control masters here, especially with this Kazan, and the triple take did not really help Soren all that much there. And Dog Slayers take the next set. I mean, Dog Slayers, am I right?
They're looking like the Cat Slayers right now. I'm not gonna lie, they're looking so good out on the field right now. They are down 0-2, but they are fiending to get their first NASL win this season. And with a team player pickup from Nikki, they're looking to just kind of accelerate this game forward, kind of just secure these points as fast as possible. Look for the passing plays between Nikki and Weston, between Nikki and Twisty. And then a hot shot pickup from the Estelle too. This Deadeye, by the way, Deadeye plus hot shot means that all of these primaries are going to be red core, by the way. On top of a team player, means that these are the kind of like the really fast points that Kazan wants to see to kind of take over games with, which is a little bit of size. And obviously, the dash range is going to be looking good for it too as well.
Yeah, it seems that Dog Slayers mostly went like lots of core control for that last Awakening draft, and we see EKC taking a lot more defense, a double health there, in addition to the specialized. Although a quick ball point from EKC is going to shut me up just about instantly, as they're playing ball just as much.
Yeah, but honestly, one more thing for draft. Reptile Remedy plus peak performance for the side of EKC. That's a lot of HP. Okay, that is like 600 stagger right there. NXCD and Soren are now going to be extremely hard to kill. And honestly, Juno, with the Berserker, of course, wants to get kind of low. And she's honestly just a really hard character to kill in general. She's extremely high base stagger. Her secondary lets her kind of be evasive on a low cooldown. And primary being a kind of a strong like range ability. and she's kind of able to press whenever she wants, means that she doesn't have to get that involved in plays and get in there and strike as much. So I'm not gonna lie, finding a kill for the side of Dog Slayers is looking way harder, but it's actually both the midfielders on both sides going down to a dash punch flip from NXD, and a beautiful secondary into glitch pop from Nicki Millinen. And now Twisty is looking staggered. When you're staggered against Juliet, the point's not looking super good.
That is true. Although there is that, well, as they get vaporized, there kind of that minor safe space on this map, right? Where you can sort of stand in front of that little barrier there and makes it way harder to get a kill. But they're not going to have too much trouble getting Kazan the heck out of there and grabbing that kill, as everyone's going to run top lane. We do have Twisty returning back. Again, still that barrier is up through that power play. We do have Weston holding the line here with Nicki Millinen. Nice hit there from Soren. The primary is going to intercept that play completely. NXCD having trouble dribbling during this mega overtime play as Twisty gets in there with the hook. It's not enough to get that barrier. Once again, same situation. We needed a flip there from Weston if we want to keep it alive. Holy! With no flip from Weston again, which is mind-boggled me there as NXCD blows everything to get that kill. Nicki winning out and a huge interaction there to save the ball. 3 more seconds here for Weston to come up. Twisty completely vaporizes the momentum on that play with that hook. Once again, we have our 3v3. Twisty looking super low. They kind of whiff on the dash or the punch there, keeping Twisty alive. Still, the barrier holds for Soren. Dog Slayers are on the back end here, though, but Nicki has a flip. They could make it happen.
Oh, and a great strike shot from Weston means that NXT's dribble is completely denied. But the Juno is just to make sure the core stays up the field for as long as possible. Twisty's looking for some strike wars against Storm, but is able to find it with the hook. And honestly, one team player pass means the point is over. And Nicki does find the ball up the field, gets it to Twisty, and 2 flips spent despite being on the back foot for what felt like the entire point. Dog Slayers are able to come out on top, meaning that it's only 1-1 to the set. EKC are kind of missing the fact that they could have been up 0-2 going into the set.
That is true. They did spend a lot of energy getting both of those, getting that point basically. Both of the flips are completely spent. Twisty almost saves the barrier there with that. With the hook, that would have been nice. NXDD now has no dash punch for a short while. Katsuna might be snaking for one of these flip kills. They do get both barriers, all the barriers vaporized just about instantly there. A flip there over to NXDD. Can't maintain possession of the ball, though. Katsuna has a flip of their own, but Nicki Millinen wins out pretty hard in the interactions against NXDD and the Slime. And now Dog Slayers are on the literal match point for the entire series against EKC, who has no sets, but they do have a flip.
They have a flip, and they have a dream. They may be down, but they're not out. EKC always been an explosive team. If they are able to just find like one good play, their momentum can start rolling in their favor so quickly. But it doesn't look like Twisty cares. NXT trying to evade with the secondary, but the Kazan open primary just makes sure that NXT stays in that hitbox the entire time, is forced to go down. Twisty looking for some scary strike wars against Katsuna and Soren. Juno sitting on a flip, but an unfortunate jump into the Alex expanse means that Katsuna was just kind of stunned for a full second there. And a combo dash punch coming out from Twisty and Nicki means that this point goes down. And Dog Slayers have claimed their first win in the North American Strikers League. A beautiful showing from our rookies this year. And honestly, they were playing beautifully.
Yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about Dog Slayer's gameplay in that entire series. I mean, it was like they did just in general did such a good job of mirroring all the damage that EKC was trying to do, all the kill confirms that they were trying to do. I mean, mirroring in general, but like I feel like the possession that Dog Slayers had on the ball was just so good. They kept that ball in the corner when they needed to. They peeled at perfect timings. I mean, the pressure putting on to Soren was just too overwhelming sometimes. I mean, the picks too. I mean, I love these picks right here. Like Weston moving up nicely with the Estelle and just putting so much pressure, starting with the Deadeye, getting that hot shot too to make just really tough situations. Red balls take barriers all the time, and you can't really do a whole lot against it, especially when half of your team is completely staggered. And I mean, the synergy for Dog Slayers, the Cat Slayers, as you're saying, bro. That was a well-deserved win.
It was beautifully played. And honestly, not only synergy between how they play, but honestly, I love to see the synergy in their comp. The backline, like I said, Amy, Estelle, high damage, are able to pelt people and keep the core up for as long as possible. And the ball being up in the face, when you're in the facing down a Kazan as Finny, is not something you want to see at all And when you have to take all these glitch hops and all these Estelle beams, you're taking a lot of damage. And as we saw that game, whenever you do get staggered, you have to give up so much space to Twisty, who's kind of just looking for these kills on the staggered players. And we saw that game. It was able to just get so much value. And I'm just really, really happy with how well Dogslayers were able to play going into that game. They made EKC not look the greatest, and it's not something that a lot of people were expecting going into this game.
Absolutely. I mean, the Dog Slayers, the Underdog Slayers, have taken it over EKC, getting their first win in NASL, which is amazing. Now they can never go 0-9, never have to worry about that for the rest of the entire season. And well played. Congratulations to them. But we got more sets coming up here in just a few minutes. Guys, it's going to be Demon Time against the Rats in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back with that one.
Point of grand finals, a long journey, all comes down to this. Looking for a passing lane, there's the opening on the outside, the pass, it's wide open, a beautiful shot to the corner, they've reached the summit!